It's almost 4 o'clock
Okay.
now. Um,
Yeah.
I intend to do just an hour's lecture, so we wouldn't keep long. So just about 1 hour, we will be done. And please always remember to inform your students to be part of what we are doing. Because when you come back to campus, in other words, when we begin official learning session, you will have just about 2 weeks to contain all of the things you are trying to do online. So if you sit back and you are planning to do all of these things when you come on campus, you will crash. So please just let them know they have to help themselves to be part of what we are doing. Anyway, I'll record the lecture, so in case anybody is not able to join, the person should do well to visit the recorded lecture. Okay. Before I start today's work, let's do what education people call review. So let's try to review what we've done so far. If you have any questions, concerns, or some comments, you want to make, you can let me know so we share the ideas. Any question, any comments before we start today's work? Okay, no question. It means you've been doing well. You're understanding everything you are reading. Fantastic. Today we are going to do basically two things. The last time we met, we tried to take ourselves through the concepts of forms as user interface that picks data from the user and deposits the data into the tables. And we understood that the user doesn't see the tables. The database is tables, collection of tables related with themselves, like we have done from beginning till now. But when you sit on a computer and you are filling some online form, or when you go to the bank and the cashier or the teller is taking your details, if you get the opportunity to see the screen, you will see that it is some form. It's not any table. But he is capturing all those details through the form into a table. The table could be on some machine in the US, if it is a multinational company, or some other machine in Accra, if the headquarters is in Accra, and so on and so forth. We have done all those things. Today, what we are going to do is we're going to talk something about queries. Query is after you have taken your time to design your database in that sensible way, and you have captured all the data into the database, you will need to do reports. You will need to get information from the database to know what is going on, to know what you have to do, and so on and so forth. That is the job of query. So the query kind of is a messenger which you can send that, please go to the database, I need this and that, combine them in this way, filter them in that manner, and so on and so forth. And it is a very obedient messenger. It will just go and do that, just what you tell the query to do. If you tell the query to go and kill your mother, it will just go and do that. Okay, so it works on how you instruct it, and it will just do that. Of course, it's also based on how well you have designed your database, how well you have structured your tables, how well the relationships between the tables are built. If all these things are right, then you can expect to get the right information, the right reports when you ask the query to bring you those things. Apart from something brief about queries, and of course when I finish I'll share you some nice information on query in a PDF form. I'll attach it to your platform so you can go through it. Apart from this, I think even before querying, I'll have to take you through what is referred to as entity relationship diagram. I should have ended the session on table design with entity relationship diagram. It just skipped me. So it's not bad to go back. So I'll do that. So I'll do entity relationship diagram, after which we'll talk about queries, and then we'll end the business for today. Okay, since nobody has a question, I think I can go straight to the point. Or someone has a question now? Any question? Okay, so let's talk about entity relationship diagram. I shared some information. You have a question? Your name first, please. I'm listening to you, please. Your name, if you have a question. Okay, maybe you've forgotten about your question. Let's proceed. I shared some information with you on how to do ERD, entity relationship diagram. I think I shared about 2 or 3 information about how to do that thing. The last one was talking about how you can do it with some software, some free online software. Who has seen those information? All of you should have seen it. I just want to hear voices. Who has seen it?
I have.
You have, right? Good. Who has not seen it?
Say I have not.
You have not.
Mm,
What's your name?
Elsie.
Elsie.
I know.
Okay, Elsie, why haven't you seen it? Does it mean you've not visited the platform? You have 2 platforms. The university platform, it is there. The
Okay,
Google.
I'll go and check it out.
Okay, so you have to at least once, just every day you have to visit the site. Every day you have to make sure you check whether there is something new for you. All right?
Okay.
Yeah. So entity relationship diagram. Hey, Biggie. I just forgot we had an appointment. I'm doing just 1 hour lecture. I'll finish very soon. Okay, so entity relationship diagram, aka ERD. It is just what we have seen. When we built our tables, we built some quantity of the tables, and we built the relationships between them. I showed you where you can see the relationships you have built between your tables, right? If you go to the database tools, you will see in the relationships group a command or a button which is labeled relationships. When you click here, you will see all the relationships built. If you doubt that these are not all the relationships, you can right click on any empty space of the relationship panel, and then you click show all. Okay, so that if there are any new ones that have not been refreshed, you can see them. Okay, so these are the tables that we have built so far, and the relationships are shown by the lines, and the cardinalities of the relationships are shown by this one, the one, and then this one. This is how Access shows many. In other software applications, you will see the many sides to be shown by what they call crow's leg. Who has read something about a crow's leg? If you have read about it, I'll give you 1 mark. Who has read about it? 1 mark is available. Some people have 3 marks. If they add this to it, they have 4 marks. They just have 36 to fight for. Who has read about a crow's leg? Oh, my boys and girls are not reading. You haven't read about that, right? Okay, so go and read about it. I've just alerted you. Crow's leg. You know crow.
Yeah.
So
Sir, please spell it so that we can see.
okay, crow.
Sir,
Crow.
please, can you come again?
Okay, I'm coming again. Crow. Crow. Kwa dobi. Crow. Alright?
Okay, sir.
This is crow. So crow's leg.
Okay, thank you.
Did you read about, did you come across crow's leg when you were reading about relationships? Or you have not read about relationships anywhere except what I'm telling you? You've not read from any other source apart from here, right?
Yes.
So what if I'm poisoning you? We don't do that, alright? You have to read. You guys live in what they call information
Sir.
age. Yes.
Sir, please, is it crow's leg or crow's feet?
Feet and leg are the same.
Leg.
Okay, so it can be.
Because I was looking for leg, I didn't find leg. That's what I'm asking.
But you found crow's feet, right?
Yes,
If you
sir.
find crow's feet, it's the same. Leg and feet, I think they are synonymous. It's the same thing. Others may call it crow's feet, others may call it crow's leg. What do you find about crow's feet?
Crow's foot diagrams represent entities as boxes and relationships as lines between the boxes.
Okay, not quiet enough, but I think it's, if you read, it's because you are now beginning to read. If you read detailed about it, they will show you exactly what they mean by crow's leg. Crow's leg looks like this actually. Crow's leg looks like, let's say if this is the leg, right? Crow's leg will not be will not be different from chicken's leg, from all the animals you know in your house. Those that look like chicken, their legs. So you can see something like this and something like this. Haven't you seen that chicken's leg is like this? If you haven't seen it to be like this, let me hear you.
So you've seen it.
What's it? I didn't get you. What did you say? This is how a chicken's leg looks like. Have you seen that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ah, are you sleeping?
No, sir.
Okay, so I want you to respond. So this is how a crow's leg looks like, just like the chicken's leg. And this is how, if you have this box for an entity and another box for another entity, and the relationship between them is, let's say, one to many. Okay, one to many. Some designers, some relational database designers represent this one to many relationship by using crow's leg symbol. So this is how they will do it. This, and actually when I get into this, it will be this, something like this. So it's telling you that this is the many parts, and the many part is like the crow's leg. So this whole line, the way it is like a crow's leg linking the two tables. Do you see that? Do you see that? Okay, so that's,
Yes, sir.
yeah, crow's leg symbol in terms of representing table relationships. So when you are reading, it's because you guys don't read. You would have seen this and question me about. When you are reading and you come across these things, they shouldn't be new to you. You have to be reading wide, all right? Reading doesn't kill. Reading is like prayers. So if you believe in prayers, then read every day. Reading is prayers, all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So entity relationship diagram is simply what you are seeing here. But this time you have to draw it. It's the logical design of your database. Before you actually go to key anything, program anything, you have to take your time and on a drawing board sketch how the database should look like. That is what they refer to as the logical design. So you will conceive of the system like we did, a school system. Okay, these are the entities. You put down all your entities in the form of boxes. Okay, this is how this entity relates to that entity and that entity. This is how this one also relates to this entity and that entity. And this is but I will lecture for later. And this is how this one also relates to that. So the whole diagram of your entities, the tables representing the entities, and how the tables are related to themselves. The whole of that diagram collectively is what we refer to as the entity relationship diagram, just like you are seeing on your screen. But the one you have drawn, this is the system's drawing, the one you have drawn yourself. And I think without taking this lecture further, everybody should be able to sketch the system that we have tried designing. You should be able to do it. Okay, let's try to do something. So when we take our system as example, the system we're trying to design as an example, then we will have this table, the student table. So represent this table by this rectangle or whatever it is, whether it's a box or rectangle. Then we will have, so you can put, we normally put the name here, so student. And then we will have your primary key, which is student. You can indicate it by saying this is PK, primary key. Then the other attributes, we have first name, surname, date of birth, and then we also said we will have registration number for the student. So registration number. Then we also have department. We said department, right? So department, there was a department table. So you represent the department with its rectangle. So department. And then we had department ID, which was the primary key. We have department name. What again did we have? I think we brought here the college and then the faculty. Okay. Now we have these two tables. Your database will be a collection of a number of tables such as you are seeing on the screen. When you draw all of them, you now come to decide on which table bears relationship with which table and what is the type of the relationship. We can clearly see that these two tables have relationships between themselves. Students belong to department houses students, so that's the relationship. The type of relationship is one to many. I think so. Let's go and check. Students and department. Okay, we never did that kind of relationship. We never did it, so we don't have it here. But at least for illustration purpose, I'm trying to show you how you will draw your entity relationship diagram. Who can tell us what is the type of relationship between department and students? In fact, the idea behind linking these two tables is to, at any point in time, know which student belongs to which department, or how many students do we have under this department, and so on and so forth. I think it's a good information we may at some point in time want to draw. So it will even make sense that we go back to our original design and try to do a relationship between student table and the department table. Yeah, it will not be wrong to do that. What is the type of relationship between student department? 2 marks available.
One to many.
One to many.
Mention your name first.
Elizabeth. One to many.
Lizzie,
Sir.
you already have some mark. Let me try to give it to someone who doesn't have a mark, right?
Isaac.
Isaac.
Francis.
Yeah, one to many.
1 too many. Isaac, explain to us why you think it is 1 too many. Isaac.
Let me try.
Okay, what's your name? The one who wants to try.
Francis.
Isaac, we are listening to you. If you don't speak quickly, I'll take it from you and give it to a different person.
Sir, many students can be assigned to one department, and one department can be assigned to only one student. So the one to many exceeds the one to one. So it will be
I don't like the way you have done the assessment of the relationship, so I can't give you the mark. You have to do it just the way I have taught you. If you deviate from that, I am afraid I can't give you the mark. The one who said she wanted to try, what's the name?
Sir Francisca.
Francisca, yes, I'm listening.
Sir, it's because many students can be assigned to one department. Let's say accounting department. Many students can be assigned.
Okay, you are also saying the same thing as Isaac did. Who wants to do the right thing? 2 marks available.
Sir, please, can I talk?
Your name?
Edmond.
What?
Edmond, sir.
Edmond.
Yes, please.
Eddie, we are listening.
So, from the student side to the department side, one student can belong to one department. So, from the student to the department, it is 1-to-1 relationship. And from the department side to the student, one department.
Listen, pause. Let me ask you a question. You said you are on track, but I want you to do it the right way. From the student table,
yes, please.
One record in the student table, that means one student, can be linked to only one department. Is that what you are saying?
Yes.
So we don't have a case where one student belongs to 2 departments,
Yes,
right?
please.
Okay, so that is how you have to make it conclusive for everybody to understand what you are saying.
Okay.
So you can continue.
So from the department side to one department, a department can be assigned to many students. So it is 1 to many. That's from department.
Exactly. I think I'll give you the 2 marks. Your index number.
SP ACC 180204.
Okay, that's good. So anybody who wants to earn a mark, this is how I expect you to explain it. Don't speak it the way you want it. 2 marks, yeah. Even if you could be right for saying 1 too many. I think all of you got a sense that it was 1 too many. But what is most important for me is the explanation. Okay, so it is 1 too many. If you are doing the one I taught you earlier, not using the cross leg symbol, then you can do this. These tables are related by this line. This is the relationship line. 1 here, too many here. And normally, this is how you will do it. You can do it this way, no problem. But to show the whole world that you exactly understand how relationship, is built in relational database, you know that the relationships are done between a foreign key and a primary key. All right? It is done between a foreign key and a primary key. The foreign key is just a duplicate of a primary key in a different table. For example, student is the primary key in the student table. If I bring a student here in department table, that student, which is primary key in the student table, when it is brought to the department table, it becomes a foreign key. You have to understand that concept clearly. And then we link this primary key and foreign keys to create a relationship. So at this point, where is it appropriate to place the foreign key? It's a question to the class, quickly.
Sir, please, the foreign key will be placed in the student table.
Good. It makes sense to do it that way so that when we are in the student table, we are entering data in the student table. After adding a student, let's say Edmond, blah, 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 date of birth, this, registration number, this, then we can even do it a drop down. We can make the foreign key a drop down. So we assign the department to him. Okay, so we can bring this one down a little. This is where we are placing the foreign key. So the foreign key will be a duplicate of the department's primary key. So we'll have department ID, which is a foreign key, right? And then the relationship is between this being a foreign key and this being a primary key. These are the two fields that will link. And here, when you are doing your lookup, all of you know what lookup is and how we do it. When you're doing your lookup, the computer will pick these numbers. These are numbers, auto-generated numbers. But you will add another field to it. So that field may be department name, so that it is human understandable to you that, okay, when I add this student, I have to assign him to a department. The database will pick these numbers, the department IDs, but you will see the department name. Don't tell me you don't understand what I'm telling you, because we have done it long time. So this is how we do it. And then you can do other tables. Let's bring one more table so that it will explain it better. So we are doing the ERD. And I've shared about 2 or 3 videos. Go back to those videos and then make your knowledge about them complete. You will definitely have questions on them to answer. So which other table should we do? There was, okay, I think department and faculty. So I can do faculty here. We have faculty ID, for example. We have faculty name. And then we can say, okay, a faculty belongs to a college, so let's say a college here, no problem. The faculty table bears relationship with the department table because faculties have departments within them. Departments belong to faculty. That's a relationship. But what's the type of relationship? Still, I have 2 marks to dash. Who wants to do the relationship between department and faculty for us? Mention your name. I want a female because the one that the mark I just allocated was given to a male. I want to balance the equation. Female, I'm giving 1 minute. If you don't respond, I open it up.
Sir, it's one too many.
Your name?
Faustina.
Fosti, 1 too many. Explain.
Sir, when you took the
Fosti, we are listening to you.
Yes, sir. When you took the faculty and the department, one faculty, one department can belong to one faculty. Okay. But when you take the faculty and the department, like many departments belong to a particular faculty.
Do it again. You are getting messed up. You are on track. Do it again if you need the marks, and do it right.
Okay. with the department and the faculty, one department can belong to one faculty. And when you take the faculty and the department, one faculty can have more than 2 departments.
Okay, I think I'll give it to you. So 2 marks. What's your index number?
SB ACC 180151.
Marks there. Send a whole pro. 2 marks, yeah. Okay, so that's correct. And you have 2 marks. So let's do it. If you take, this is how you have to always do it to get it right. You do it from the department to the faculty, and you come and do it from the faculty back to the department. For each assessment, you take one record in the table and see the number of records that it can be related to in the other table. So if I am starting from department, I'll take 1 record in the department table. 1 record in the department table is just 1 department entered in the table, like Department of Accounting. If I take Department of Accounting, for example, how many faculties can the Department of Accounting be related to? Department of Accounting cannot belong to business school and still belong to School of Economics. So naturally, 1 department here, that is 1 record here, can only relate to 1 record in the faculty table. So if you trace it here, it will be 1 on 1, 1 to 1. And then you have to do trace back. So we started from department to faculty, and then you have to do faculty to department. If I take 1 record in the faculty table, 1 record in the faculty table means 1 faculty in the faculty table. Like School of Business is a record in the faculty table. If I take School of Business, how many departments? So I've taken just 1 record, which is business school. How many records in the, if I take 1 faculty, if I take 1 faculty like School of Business, I want to relate that 1 record to the possible records in the department table. School of Business, 1 record in the faculty table. How many departments can the School of Business be related to in the department table? It can be related to 1 or more. When you check inside the department table, you can see that Department of Accounting is related to School of Business. Department of Finance is related to School of Business. Department of Management is related to School of Business. So it can be 1 or more. That makes it 1 too many from the faculty to the department. And I told you, so we have 1 to 1 and 1 to many. The bigger number reigns over the lower one, so it ends up becoming 1 to many relationship. And this is how you will do the modeling in the right sense. You know, the relationship is between a primary key and a foreign key. Someone just told us where it will make sense for us to place the foreign key. Where you place the foreign key is not hard and fast. It's about what makes logic, what is logical. Between the department table and the faculty table, where do we place the foreign key?
The department table.
The department table. So your idea is that, okay, when I'm feeding my department with data, then I have to assign, okay, this Department of Accounting, okay, I have to assign the faculty, or this is the faculty, all right? So you will place, so in this case, this faculty we have here can be the faculty ID, but the name doesn't really matter. You can make the name faculty, but since you are linking the 2 IDs, the name that you want to see doesn't really matter. So this faculty here, let me make it faculty ID here, and this is a faculty ID here. So this is a foreign key, and this is a primary key, and these are the 2 fields we link to create the relationship between the 2 tables. And let me say this before I forget. The table which has the foreign key field is referred to as a child table or the child table. Child. Abofra. Child table. Alright? And a table whose primary key is copied as the foreign key into another table is the parent table. I'll explain further. So between students and departments, the child table is the student table. This is the child table because it has the foreign key. And I'll explain to you why it makes sense for us to call that table the child table. It's actually the same explanation between you as a child and your parents as parents. And once you understand why you are a child and your parents are parents, you should be able to understand what is happening here. This one is now the parent table. The child table is so called because like you are children. What makes you children? It's a question. I want us to understand it practically. What makes you children and not parents? Or you are parents?
No,
Hello?
sir.
You are children, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No.
Wendy. Is Wendy in class?
Yes, sir.
Wendy, are you a child?
Yes.
What makes you a child?
Sir, because I depend on my parents and I'm under them.
Exactly. That's the answer. That's what makes us children. So it's not about age. Children is about dependency. So you see that the student table is dependent on the department table for something. When we are entering data into all of these fields and we get here, we will pick data. We will pick this data from the department table. That's why we'll do the lookup. We'll look up the values here from this table. In that case, the values here, the values for the department ID inside the student table depends on the values in the department table. And that is how child the student table is, because it depends on the department table for the values for this foreign key field. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it means that the parent table is also a parent table because it provides for the child table. That's the meaning. So you shouldn't confuse these concepts. And if you ask questions on them in exam, you shouldn't get them wrong. They are very basic things. You know them already. Okay, so you said, so this is the foreign key. So we'll just do this here.
Sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, please, what about domain and weak?
Domain and what?
And weak tables.
Domain and weak table. Okay, reserve them somewhere. Don't forget about them. We'll talk about them later. Let me complete this one. So this is how you do the relationship between primary key, foreign key, and you understand why they are happening this way. And you also understand which is a parent table and which is a child table in this sense. So the relationship is one to many. One record here can match to, in case you want to use the crow's leg, this is how you will draw it. But you have to be consistent. If you are using crow's leg for your modeling, it has to be crow's leg throughout. If you are using the normal one, we do one and maybe M for many. And if it is many to many, you can do M and N. It is acceptable. M, N. It means many to many.
Sir, please, a question.
Yes, I'm listening.
Sir, please, the cross leg, will you draw it on your own, or there is a symbol in Access that you can use?
No. This one, what we are doing here, it is not done by Access. You have to do this one first before you even take this design into Access. This is what we call the logical design. It is also called the entity relationship
Okay,
diagram.
sir.
So you will, on a sheet of paper or on a drawing board or on anything, you can use some other software like the one I shared with you. You will draw it. It's based on your conception of your database. You first draw it. Sometimes this is done between a team of experts. This one brings his ideas. This one brings other input. They look at, oh, okay, this one is not good. This one is better, blah, blah, blah. So they will dialogue, brainstorm to come up with this entity relationship diagram. This is what they will transfer to become the database that you will see on computers. All right, so when you're asked to do an ERD, it's actually a diagram, which is your conception of the database and how the tables relate. So this is what they refer to as the logical design. It's not a physical. The physical one is what like we did with Access. So this one precedes, the logical design precedes the physical design. So you would have done this on a sheet of paper or on some drawing board where you are brainstorming. That's where you be canceling and say, oh, no, this one should go here. Oh, okay, I think this one should come here, blah, blah. You do all of these things to get your diagram right before you transfer them to the computer, right? So basically, that's what an entity relationship diagram is. Any questions? And you would have had this one before, and then when you had done the relationship with Access, you will also see them in this way. So at this point in time, everybody should be able to conceive of a system that is capable of being modeled into a database. The person should be able to decompose the system into entities, to the logical entities, and the person should also be able to conceive or understand the links between the tables, the entities created. The person should be able to do the relationships. First of all, on a sheet of paper or on some drawing board, that's the logical design. And the person should also be able to transfer the drawing into Access design like you are seeing on your screen right now. I have taught you all these things. Don't go and stand anywhere and say I didn't teach you this or that, right? There's a difference between me teaching you and you learning. I have showed you the way. It is up to you to walk on the way to salvation, or to take a different way to where? I don't know where you'll be going anyway. So I want to tell you, you have to be reading. In addition to what I'm sharing with you, you also read. Information is just in your palm, on your computers. I mean, on your phones, you can Google, you can go to YouTube, you can just do it if you want to do it. Because this is the fact. If I set questions for you, the questions will be practical. If you fail, anyway, I'm not wicked. I'll give you second chance to come and write again. And if you fail again, I am ready to give you as many times as you want to write, but the university may not have that patience for you. If you fail, if you say the paper twice and you fail for the second time, you will go home. So be careful, learn well. Any questions? No questions, right? Any questions?
Hello.
I'm listening. Speak well, okay? I'm listening.
Okay, so please with the relationship with the right now, can we have the student department and the faculty, like the three of them relating? Can we draw the relationship for the three?
I don't want you to ask the question in that way. I mean, I want you to speak it in a positive form. If that is what you are seeing, you can say, sir, I see that in addition to the relationship we have done, the relationship also makes sense. And then tell us about it. What is making you think the way you are thinking? I want to know. I want to understand. Speak.
accept because like we're like the in this modeling use the foreign key and the primary key. So I want to know
Yes.
if let's say these three are relating, like then we have the primary key, then we have the foreign key, then what will the other also have, like when we are deleting these three?
So now you are talking about this and this, right?
Yes.
Are you talking about student and faculty?
Yes, please.
Okay, so
Yeah,
don't ask me the question. Think of it like I am asking you that question. What answer do you have? Is there a logical relationship, sensible relationship between student and faculty? See, because I want you to be involved in the learning process. It shouldn't be like I am telling you. It should also be like what you think. Alright, that's how we learn. I am telling you as a teacher anyway, but you also have the same opportunity like I have to be reading and be also thinking about the concept we are trying to understand. Okay, based on what we are trying to do and my understanding of things, I think this, I think that, I don't think this, I don't think that. That's how we learn. Your name, please.
Malinda.
Belinda.
Malinda.
Malinda. Okay, Malinda. So you understand what I'm trying to say. So if you perceive a relationship between the two, you can tell us about it. Of course, there is a conceivable relationship between student and faculty, but that may not be too interesting for us. For example, while students are related to department, and then we know the department are related to the faculty. Indirectly, we have the students also related to faculty. So we may not necessarily want to build a relationship between student and faculty. And let's try to even take it home. Let's try to analyze it from more commonsensical perspective. On campus, for example, it will make sense for someone to ask for a data like, oh, I want to know all the students in School of Business. Of course, it can also become like, okay, we want the students, we want a report on all the students in this faculty, School of Business. Okay, but it depends on you, the designer. If you think that is less important report to be building, then you can forget about the relationship. If you think it is a more important report that you may be building and you need a relationship between the two, then you can build it. If you build it and you don't even use it, it's better than not building it and then later needing it. Malinda, are you okay?
Yes.
So I'm even beginning to think that it will make sense to build a relationship between student and faculty, because in the future you may want to build a report which has all the students under what faculty. So you want to see, okay, all the students under School of Business, all the students under School of Economics, all the students under School of Medical Sciences. Yes, you may want to do that in the future, and in that case, you may want to do a direct relationship between students and faculty. That makes sense. So I want you to know exactly what we are doing, and then you can think that, or you can say that I think this, I think we can do this, I think we can do this, all right? Okay, so that's Malinda's question. Anybody with a question? A question? My time is up. This is where I'll end the lecture. It means I'll share the information on the querying with you, so you can pre-read, and then we hold the lecture on queries later. Before I close, any question?
Sir, please, I have a question on the domain and the week table.
Okay, domain and what? Domain. Week. Yes. Like, okay, so I am giving it back to you as a reading assignment, the whole class. Go and read on domains. Alright? When it comes to database table, which table is the domain table? And which table is the week table? Go and read on the question she's asking. And that will be the first question I'll ask in terms of demanding an answer from you before we begin the lecture for the querying. I'll share the information on the queries with you on your platform so you can read ahead of time. But besides the information I'll share with you, you can just read wide on querying. That's how we do our students. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention.